Hey there, dear popaholics, it's again me, Arie Abramovich, Mr.Blackhead. Happy to see all of your smiling faces back on my channel, and for those of you who are the first time here, welcome, and I hope you enjoyed the video at least the way I enjoyed extracting those blackheads. So, first of all, before we start with everything, I have to deal with the upcoming critics and all the comments saying, oh, you don't know how to squeeze, haven't you done any squeezing school, etc, etc. So I've got flash news for... I've got flash news to all of you know-it-all poppers that think watching Dr. Sandra Lee on YouTube means you've graduated from a medical school. There is no such thing, popping or squeezing school. It's not like, oh, I want to go to a popping or squeezing or pimple popping school. No such thing. Okay, but what I really wanted to say is actually to my loving popaholics, you know who you are. I just wanted to say that this treatment of Amilios was filmed on a really terrible day. I had that day sinusitis. I'm not sure if I pronounced it correctly, but anyway, I had a really bad headache, and Amilios was my last patient for the day, which was also very late. So I wasn't at my best, and therefore you might see in the video a couple of blackheads that seem like I haven't squeezed them entirely, and you're probably right. I did go over his face again and checked most of them, but that was already after the camera was shut off. But again, I'm pretty sure that I still forgot a couple. So I'm so sorry in advance, and I hope you've got the understanding that we're all human beings eventually. That's it for this topic. By the way, let me know in the comments what do you think about the video title. I mean the I squeezed it my way. I'm not sure if I'm going to have a singing career, but you know, I squeezed it my way by Pimple Sinatra. Really like Sinatra, even though I'm not American and I'm not from that generation that's supposed to listen to him, but I still love him. On one hand, I thought about more of an informative name like Amilios Session 2 Part 1, but then it seemed to me a bit boring and monotonic. And yes, I know that most of you are here mainly for the pop, but I really wanted to spice it up a little bit. So I think I will start making more of these kind of unusual titles, unless you don't really like them, and then I will go back to the monotonic titles. Let me know in the comments below what do you think about it. Anyway, oh, and another thing that I've almost forgotten, Josefa Reina is back. Oh. I'm sorry, I'm just me and the microphone here late at night after a busy day at the clinic, so I'm doing voices that I'm not supposed to do. Anyway, regarding Josefa, I already lost hope after so much time of not uploading new videos, and now she's back, and I'm so happy about it. And if you haven't watched her yet, then go and do it, but not right now. Right now you're watching my video, so finish watching this video, and then you should go and watch her, obviously. And one last thing before we go ahead and continue with the Q&A from the previous video. Thank you very much, the popaholics that took the time and effort and supported me on Patreon. Every bit of support from you helps me get closer to the goal of uploading new video each and every day. You are amazing, and I really hope we will be able to get to this goal as soon as possible. However, I really do need more popaholics to support me. For example, this video that you are watching right now was filmed already almost a month ago, and due to a lot of work that I had to do in the clinic, I just didn't have the time to sit down and edit everything. So if you do have the option to help me and support the channel, then it would be amazing, and eventually, you know, you will enjoy the fruits of your support as well. Not to mention that once you become a patron, you can enjoy things like private monthly live streams with me, also one-on-one video meetings, and a 24-hour early access to videos, appreciation of your support in the credits, and the list goes on and on. At least, you know, click on the link in the description below or in the comment section and just check it out. And if you don't have any option to support the channel on Patreon, you know what else can help? Yes, you're right. click on the subscription button and subscribe to the channel. And also it would be great if you hit the like button. Okay, so after this long introduction, let's move on to the Q&A part. The previous time we stopped with the Q&A in the middle, so let's continue with the next question. Question number 17. What kind of preparation do I do to the skin prior to the extraction itself? I first apply a glycolic acid wash to peel the dead skin layer, which sometimes can make it harder to extract the blackheads, and then I use a facial steamer, which makes the pores wider and more easy to extract. Very short answer. But let's continue to question number 18. Have I watched Josefa Reina? Of course. I've just talked about it above. She's back and I just love her. And if we're already talking about who are the poppers that I watch on YouTube, then it would be mainly Anilsa Brown and Dr. Lalit Kasana. Now that Josefa is back, I've started to watch her again. And once in a while, I'm watching Dr. Sandra Lee, but not that often. I'm more of a blackheads fan than cysts and lymphomas. And unfortunately, she doesn't produce many of those blackheads videos anymore, so that is why I don't watch her as often as I did in the past. Question number 19. What Amilios thought about the two techniques, my regular technique and the one with the Qtips, and what do I think about it? Excellent question. So first about Amilios. Obviously I asked him with which technique he felt more comfortable, and he said that he liked better my regular technique. But the problem is that I used the Qtips first time in my life. I wasn't using it very well, so I don't rely 100% on his answer, at least till I will practice it more and become good with it. And regarding my own opinion, I'm pretty used to my regular technique, so sometimes it can be difficult to change it suddenly, but in general, I don't think that there is much difference between the two techniques in terms of the effect on the patient and the quality of the extraction. The only, I would say, advantage of the Qtips is the fact that it is easy to film it, because I don't hide the extraction with my hands sometimes, and you can reach tough places like the inside of an ear, but that can be done also with a commodine extractor. But again, the main advantage I would say is the fact that you can see better the extraction, the popaholics on YouTube. Besides of that, both of the techniques seem to me pretty much, I would say, the same. Question number 20. How can you stop blackheads from reoccurring? Reoccurring? Entirely? Completely? Like no blackheads at all? You can't, but you can definitely manage it and make it bearable, I would say. And almost unnoticeable. Depends again what is your starting point, but you can definitely decrease it quite significantly by maintaining, for example, healthier diet, stress-free lifestyle, as if it's even possible in 2020. And also go on a regular basis to an esthetician and listen to their advice regarding the best skincare routine that is suitable specifically for your skin condition. That's how you manage your your blackheads. Question number 21. How do people let their pores and skin in general get into this situation without popping their own blackheads? Okay, so first, how people let their skin get into this situation. Not everyone has the awareness for skincare or for how their skin looks like, and usually they get to me when their skin is already in a very rough condition. And regarding how come they don't pop it themselves, the same way that they don't have awareness about skincare, many times they don't know what it is. They don't know even that you can extract or pop it. And if they do know, then they don't feel that this is something that they should do by themselves. Also, another reason is that not everyone enjoys it the way we do here in the popaholic community. For us, it seems so obvious, but there are a lot of people out there that don't find it mesmerizing as we do. Question number 22. Can I talk about skincare products? Of course I can. I would love to talk about them, but I use local products with my patients and I didn't find them on Amazon. So at some point, what I'm going to do is to order some recommended skincare products from Amazon, use them for a while, and then I would be able to review them If you do have some recommendations, feel free to write me in the comments below, and I would love to check those products. Question number 23. Am I using one hand or two hands? And again, a very weird question, like the one with the gloves. Do I use one hand? Really? There are a couple of comments like this, and one time I even answered seriously to one of them, but then they didn't believe me and wrote me that I'm a liar. Anyway, I wonder, what do some people see on their screen that I don't see? And also I'm wondering, who are you people who use one hand to extract such big blackheads? No, really, who are you? Question number 24. Do I only work on males, or is it just a coincidence? So outside of the YouTube channel, I work actually mostly with women, but the men that I have met had quite large blackheads, which is exactly the kind of condition that I'm looking for my channel. So this is mainly the reason why you see here more men. And another reason is that usually men care less about being filmed for my channel than women. Question number 25. Anybody can do this. Why pay for a doctor? You're totally right. Physically, almost anyone can do it. Also, anyone can represent themselves in court. Anyone can fly in an airplane. Anyone can build a house, and the list doesn't end here. It all depends on the level that you want those things to be done. Amateur level or professional level. For example, I wouldn't like my airplane to be operated by someone who watched a couple of YouTube videos about how to fly an airplane, as well as I wouldn't like to be represented at court by someone who watched all the seasons of Law and Order. And lastly, when it comes to my face and my health, I would be more than happy to be treated by a professional. So, here for you. Question number 26. Is it difficult to do extractions on men with facial hair? Nah, I've got also facial hair, as you see on the video. So I'm quite used to it, and I even like the action of searching for blackheads in between the hairs, like in the forest. I don't know why, but I really enjoy it. Question number 17. God, no, 27. Does wearing a helmet, like a motorcycle helmet, can make it easier to develop blackheads in specific areas? As a motorcycle rider myself, I can definitely say that it makes it easier. Especially I found out that I have more blackheads on the forehead in times when I ride more often. My theory is that our skin produces oils all the times in order to protect itself, and when we're using a helmet, it wipes off the oils, which forces our skin to produce more of it, and eventually this increases the chances for the pore to be clogged and form a blackhead. Question number 28. Why do some pimples make sound when they poop? I mean when they pop. Now, what do I have with this pooping thing? Never mind. Never mind? I said never mind. Never mind. And now we're getting into physics and not skincare, but fortunately I've learned physics at high school and I was pretty good at it, so I will explain how it works. Basically, once you pop a pimple, I almost said poop again. Once you pop a pimple, there is some kind of explosion, and any other explosion makes some kind of vibrations to the particles around it, and in this case, and in many cases, those are the air particles around the area of the explosion. And those air particles, they move in some kind of wave pattern. Like, imagine that you throw a rock into the lake and the water ripples away in some kind of a wave pattern. So this is exactly what happens to the air particles around the explosion, and those air waves reach our ear, and inside our ear there is a small part that has special fluid and special tiny microscopic hairs in it. And when the waves hit this fluid, it makes it move in the same kind of wave pattern, which moves those tiny hairs, and those tiny hairs transmit the movement into voice in our brain. Even right now, when you're listening to me, the same thing happens in your ear. And another piece of information, totally out of topic and totally not related to skincare, is the reason why we lose our hearing with aging. The reason for that is mainly due to the fact that we lose many of these microscopic hairs, and this is for you the answer why sometimes we hear a pop. because sometimes the waves that the pop creates are so strong, I would say, that they can make the particles, the air particles around it, move so much that it eventually reaches our ear and moves our hairs, microscopic hairs in the ear. Anyway, let's continue with question number 29. Do I use some kind of wash after I finish the extractions? No, I use two things. One is propolis powder for cosmetical use, which kills the bacteria and makes sure that there won't be any infection. And the second thing is a high frequency facial machine, which also helps me with the bacteria. But more importantly, it helps me with shrinking the size of the pore. So next time, if it accumulates sebum, at least the blackhead would be much smaller. Question number 30, the last question. Do I provide at-home skincare advice? Of course that I provide. If you're coming for a treatment, let's say once in a couple of months, sometimes even once in 6 months, then you have to continue the treatment at home. And it really depends on the case, but almost all of my patients go home with specific instructions, and many times also even some products that I recommend to use at home. That's it. It was quite long, but we finished with the Q&A. Remember to check out the Patreon page, subscribe to the channel. Yes, subscribe right now. And hit the like button, obviously. And that's it for today, with the commentary at least. Enjoy the rest of the video with the music I've chosen especially for you. Bye bye.
Hey there, dear popaholics, I hope you liked this video, and by the way, remember to visit my Patreon page. The link is in the description below or in the comments. And if you want to continue and watch more of my videos, then I do recommend one of those two. And thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of the day. See you next time, Mr. Blackhead.